So what's up everyone? So for today's video, this is the continuation of my previous video again. It is all about the history of the Philippines, and this is my reflection. So let's start in the minutes of the proceedings on the national territory of the 1971 Constitutional Convention. So the major goal of this lesson is to provide a comprehensive definition, description of the national territory, which may be used to support and avoid future territorial battles. It provides us with the knowledge necessary to develop a fair clarification, not that will not harm anyone. Finally, this lesson promotes the resolution of international disputes. So, let's proceed to the role of Islam in the history of the Philippines. So, our country benefits from having a distinct religion. A problem arose in our discussion and exchange of information. I discovered that the bulk of people today are censuring various characteristics with their confidence. If our country becomes independent and a segment of the non-Muslim population is sent to Mindanao, which is home to Muslim people, Muslims will see the non-Muslims as a second-class citizens. Muslims enjoyed an incredible bond with one another rather of fighting and condemning one another. So let's proceed to the history of terrorism in the Philippines. So the goal of these lessons is to help us comprehend why the specified armed forces groups are considered terrorists and what their goals are. We didn't understand what those groups were for. Others may be attempting to establish community cohesion or simply seeming to have a positive relation with the government. So next is agreement on peace between the government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Mara Islamic Liberation Front. We know that the majority of the current armed organizations in our country are Muslim individuals. But we have no idea what the needs of other renegade groups, such as New People groups, armed forces, are. They may seek assistance from the government or require a demonstration of punishment. Some Muslim resistance groups, I believe, are hoping for a sense of Christian peace and moderation. In my opinion, Muslim people require tolerance among clans because the use of government authority is not always necessary. This non-aggression fact will undoubtedly strengthen the bond between the two groups and bring them closer together in harmony. So the next one is the report in Cholera Epidemic in the Philippines. So this diagram depicts how the cholera epidemic spread in 1902 and how the COVID-19 pandemic spread in 2020. This illustration depicts how the Philippines prepared to recover from the spread of cholera in more remote areas of the country, despite being involved in a conflict. It depicts how they gradually ended the spread of cholera in the country and what it meant for the military during the war. So the next is the little Tokyo of the pre-war Philippines. So various localities in the Philippines are made up of various transients. The majority of them grew powerful and had a significant impact on the history that has turned the unique places into a lovely heritage. Throughout the history of the Philippines, many immigrants created and discovered a variety of items that made them famous and formed part of Philippine culture. The majority of people who bring significant heritage to the Philippines are immigrants from from other countries. Most of the heritage created and found by foreign people has been lost to modernization, which has damaged and destroyed all of the sites that have become part of their history. So next is the post-war Philippines. So Ramon Magsaysay, the Third Republic's third president, stated in his inaugural State of the Nation address that horticulture will be a primary priority for this administration. Magsaysay established projects and policies that support horticulture and engage provincial populations are critical to public development recovery, he said. He was also known as the People's President and the Palawan Agriculture Champion. And he advocated for bettering water system frameworks to boost ranch produce. So 1972 to 1986, as expected, Congress passed Republic Act number 1632, also known as the 1971 Act, the Established Convention Act in August. On December 24, 1970, President Carlos P. Garcia and later President Diosdado Macapagal passed the 1971 Constitutional Convention, made up of 320 appointed members, with drafting a new charter to replace the 1935 Constitution. The 1971 Constitutional Convention issued the message to President Marcos on December 1, 1972, just a few months after military regulation was declared. 1986 to present, from June 2, 1986 to October 16, 1986, the Philippine Constitution of 1987, which consists of a preamble and 18 articles, was prepared. So the Senate and the House of Representatives are divided into three branches: the chief authoritative and legal executive according to the Constitution. So the House of Representatives was known for the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So supplemental topics: hanging coffins in Sagada. So the hanging coffins in Sagada are hung in their honor, since it is claimed that the higher the caskets were positioned, the more likely their soul would arrive at a higher nature in the great beyond. So thanks for listening. That would be all. Thank you.